What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Ticker Fee video and welcome to the Ticker Fee family. So as you can see, the ticker symbol we're going to be talking about today is GIK or GIGCAPTIAL3. And so what we're going to be talking about this entire video is the stockholders approve business combination with Lighting EMotors. Then we're going to finish this video off with the chart analysis and price prediction. Also, leave a comment down below if you actually own this stock, if you're thinking about buying this stock, if you've been watching it and it's a speculative stock for you. Leave a comment down below. I'm super curious and I always enjoy the comments. If you're here for the first time listening to this video, welcome. And for those that have been supporting me, thank you so much, and let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so GIGCAPTIAL3 announced that its stockholders approve all proposals related to the previously announced business combination with Lighting EMotors for a special meeting of stockholders held on April 21st, 2021. Now, more than 98% of the votes, which I highlighted, cast at the meeting on the business combination proposal, representing approximately 56% of GIGCAPTIAL3 outstanding shares, voted to approve business combination, which this is extremely exciting. We've been looking forward to this for a really long time. So finally this time has come and we're finally moving forward. This is a big deal. So again, something that I want to inform you. Now, a Form 8K disclosing the full voting results is expected to be filed with the SEC or Securities and Exchange Commission. So if you don't know what a Form 8K is, we're going to go ahead and look at that. What in the world is an 8K? So this is a report of unscheduled material events or corporate changes at a company that could be of importance to the shareholders or Securities and Exchange Commission, also known as the SEC. Now, for this Form 8K, the report notifies of the public of events, including acquisitions, bankruptcy, the resignation of directors, or changes in the fiscal year. So yes, we do know what the Form 8K is for our stock, but for your other stocks, if you ever hear what the Form 8K is, these are the key takeaways. Now, the SEC requires the companies to file an 8K. Companies have 4 business days to file the 8K for the most specified items. Now, public companies use the Form 8K as needed, unlike some other forms that must be filed annually or quarterly. Also, the Form 8K is a valuable source of complete and unfiltered information for investors and researchers. Yes, now again, the Form 8K for us as this stock is going to be the approved stockholders for the business combination with Lighting EMotors, which makes sense. Now, what is the criticism for the Form 8K? Like any legal required paperwork, Form 8K imposes costs on business. So always keep that in mind when you also see Form 8K. There is the cost of preparing and submitting the forms, as well as possible penalties for failing to file on time. So that's all that power that takes place just in order to give them paperwork. So that's all that money, something again to keep in mind. Although it is only one small part of the problem, the need to file the Form 8K also deters small companies from going public in the first place. You got to think about the price. What does it cost? That cost-benefit ratio. Unfortunately, we do have to think about that. Requiring companies to provide information helps investors make better choices. However, it can reduce their investment options when the burden on businesses becomes too high. Again, now that you know what the Form 8K is, this summary should make a little more sense. The parties are working to finalize the closing date of the business combination. So following closing, the combined company will be known as Lighting EMotors Inc., which we know, and its common stock and warrants will trade on the New York Stock Exchange under the new symbol ZEV. So we need to look out for that. And so for those that are listening for the first time, it's going to be symbol ZEV. Now, at the closing of the business combination, each existing GIGCAPTIAL3 unit will separate into its components consisting of 1 share of common stock under this new symbol and 3/4 of 1 warrant under the new symbol ZEV.WS. And as a result, the GIGCAPTIAL3 units will no longer trade as a separate security. Again, just so you know for future reference, and we will talk about it in the chart, but if you look at stocks when they do combine, when you see these companies combine, you will see up to those couple days, you'll see it hype up, and then the following day it will level out. So there will be support and resistance that's going to be going back and forth. So keep that in mind. Now, GIG Capital has received elections to redeem approximately 29% of its outstanding shares, which will leave approximately $143 million in the trust account, which again is great news. So that's something that you always want to hear. After the redemptions and prior to payment of transaction expenses, Lighting EMotors expects to receive approximately $268 million in gross proceeds at the time of business combination, which includes $125 million in expected gross proceeds from the issuance of equity and convertible finance in a private investment in public equity, or known as PIPE. Now, just so you know, on a side note, if you didn't know what PIPE was, or if you didn't know what it stands for, that's exactly what it stands for: private investment in public equity. Now, this is including a commitment from BP Technology Ventures and other leading institutional investors. Now, with all that being said, and with everything that's been highlighted, let's see how this has affected the charts. Alright, so when you're looking at the chart, there are a few indicators that you always want to keep in mind. So yes, you are following your stock and what's going on when it comes to the catalyst, when it comes to the news, what kind of products are being approved or disapproved, or whatever the case is. Yeah, you are following your stock, but there are other factors that do affect the charts. And so that's what I want to kind of touch on, and then we'll continue to look at our stock specifically. So here are a few things that I think have been manipulating the charts when it comes to March and the majority of April. So the first thing is going to be retail taxes. So you're saying retail investors and their taxes. So why does that matter? Everybody knows about capital gains. Well, what I want to say specifically, if this is your first time, not your second, third, or fourth, but if this is your first time buying stocks in 2020, and then you've decided to collect some of those profits, this might be your first time actually paying for the taxes. So keep that in mind, because if it is your first time and you're not used to it, you might see that you owe a little bit more than what you normally do. And so you are selling some of those stocks. So I've kind of seen that from the stocks that I've been watching here for a while. So these retail investors have been making a great profit because of what happened last year. And so now, again, yes, they are having to pay taxes, these capital gains. It is a surprise. And so some of these stocks are being sold, especially these retail stocks that the majority of us enjoy purchasing. Now, the next thing I want to point out is going to be the financial reports. Now, I'm sure you've heard, but if you haven't, last week and this week, a lot of large chip or large cap companies, they have been reporting their Q1 or annual reports of their overall financial results for their stocks and what their price target was versus what they actually was able to meet. And so that's going to be affecting the charts. So with these financial reports, especially with your stock, if it's in the same sector as some of these larger large cap blue chip companies. So always keep that in mind. You've got Microsoft, you've got Tesla company, Apple, Google. These stocks have been letting us know what their financial results are. And so yes, it does affect the stock, our stocks themselves. So always keep that in mind. Now, the other thing is, which I feel the majority of us understand, and we know it's always taken place, is going to be the hedge funds. Now, these companies are under constant pressure and stress to meet expectations, over expectations, just surpass it quarter after quarter. And so with that pressure involves selling and trade. Now, they are going to be manipulated, or they'll make their decisions a lot based on sometimes with politics. And so when you have the infrastructure plan with the corporate taxing from 21% to 28%, that 7% gap is going to affect the charts, especially if it comes through. But even just talking about it is making and manipulating the charts, which is making it a little more volatile. So you got to always keep that in mind, as well as people that are making over 400,000, aka anybody that's a millionaire, is going to be affected by this charts if some of these plans actually go through. So there are always little tiny factors and side notes that are going to affect our stock no matter what. So always keep that in mind, because there is fear, But what I like about our stock is what's been going on. So yes, we have had quite a large roller coaster ride, but that comes with having a stock that is as small as it is. But as you can see, it has been continuing to grow. So we've had a high of $17.36. So that day, let's go ahead and expand the chart. So on that day, that was going to be January the 21st, and that was $17.36. It closed lower than what it opened up at, but on that same day, we had 4 million volume when it comes to trade. But then if we fast forward to where we're at today, we have a new support. So that's going to be roughly around $17.85. With a high of $17.86, but maybe with a low of $7 and roughly, I would say 37 cents. So you're looking at, a rough estimate of what's been going on just for these past few days, but that's going to be your new support line, which is going to be around that low of $7.50. So that's going to be my support line, the new support line. Because when you fast forward, you can see we've had a few green bodies on the 23rd, the 26th, as well as the 28th, which is great. And I'm not too concerned actually closing in the red the following day. That's going to be not that big of a deal because we still have that support line against the resistance. So we are still going to have that upward trend line. So for my price prediction, I'm going to look towards Q3 and Q4. I feel like we've got quite a few different types of catalysts that's going to be taking place. But the great thing is, with this new deal and the new offering and this business combination with Lighting EMotors, we are going to have that upward trend, and you're going to see more volume. But always keep in mind what I want to mention, and I want to strongly stress and mention to you, is the following day you're going to see a dip, and then we're going to have it leveled out, and then we'll take it from there. So keep that in mind on the decisions that you're trying to do. Again, leave a comment down below if you own the stock, if you're thinking about buying the stock, or whatever the case is. Again, I always enjoy the back and forth and understanding and providing as much information to you as possible. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you were able to take much added value and information so you can decide on what you want to do. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but I do like updating everyone as much as possible. So thank you so much. And with that being said, welcome to the Ticker family.